Yeah, you were right, and I have to apologize. Stanz got arrested? What?
I didn't get arrested.
Hashtag gone wrong?
Hashtag gone right.
Alt-right.
Well, what's scary is that I have like a second personality in this dream world. Night 3, this is what really...
Sorry, that sentence is so insane. We're not having a conversation about a TV show. This isn't a film.
Yeah,
this is
my real
your
life.
real life. That's amazing.
Dude,
Sorry,
Night 3 is where I started to think I might need to call a doctor. I am recording.
Okay, sick. You did peak when you said that, but that's not crazy. As long as you don't scream, you'll be fine.
I mean, I'll try not to scream, but if the music is in me, the music is in me.
The music can be in you, just don't go into the mic when the music is in you, is all.
The music is in me.
I could tell, it didn't peak, but I could tell you got closer to your mic when you did that,
I'm getting
dude.
further away from my mic. I'm actually across the room.
That's not how sound works, but okay.
I'm yelling from across the room so loudly.
So stupid. This is just a stupid bit. I want you to know, I am now debating whether this is the intro for the episode.
Yeah,
because not because of how good it is, because of how stupid it is that I want people to witness that this is what happens before we actually start the episode.
I see, but the thing is, they would find it endearing.
They would now, yeah, knowing that it's like a pullback on the curtain.
But
imagine if that was like,
skink.
if we thought that was good enough for like an intro and that was on purpose, that would be insane.
Yeah, that would be insane.
But welcome back to Bitch and Cringe. It's episode 28, and it's actually going to be a sick episode, not only because I have some fucking banger heat for us to talk about, but because
didn't I have something last episode that we're like, oh, we'll save this juice?
We should save it again because I have like too many things to talk about.
Wait, but what is it?
Do you remember? It was Quinn TikTok, but don't say anything. Don't say anything.
It's not even that good.
Yeah, well, we'll save it for the next episode. It's really good. Really good next episode. Okay. We're going to cover it. It's going to be fucking crazy.
I'm not going to save it for next episode. Crazy.
You were buzzing about it last week, so it must be all right.
It's fine, but you said you have heat here.
I have heat. The first thing is you have heat, Mr. Stanz. You're in heat.
This is not heat. Don't you dare. Don't. I've...
What?
This is crazy. You're going to say I have heat, and then you're going to make me... Wait, what are you going to say?
You're so fucking in your own head right now.
But yeah.
You have two things. One of them isn't actually heat. That's actually... I wasn't talking about that.
Great.
We can briefly touch on that. Stanz got arrested? What?
I didn't get arrested. I got pulled over for speeding a tiny bit.
Hashtag gone wrong? Hashtag gone sexual?
Hashtag gone right. He saw my thin blue line sticker and let me off with a warning.
Yeah. Sorry. Stanz was a little bit, not like late, but like he wasn't exactly when he said he would be, which is crazy for Stanz because usually he is. Yeah.
Bro, I said 2 o'clock. It's 3 minutes after, and we've been shooting the shit.
You said an hour, and it was 22 when you said an hour. So.
Oh, but what time did I? I
was leading this up, being like the reason that he was here at this time is because he told me. That he got arrested by the police and has been in jail.
I did not. I offhanded was like, oh yeah, sorry, I got pulled over. And then you're like, you gotta tell this story. And it's like,
you said I got pulled over by the cops, and I was like, hold on, because that was the first thing you said when we started our call. And I'm like, bro, we're about to do a podcast. What do you think we're supposed to do? Talk about this in the podcast. So tell me the interesting.
But it's not like he pulled a gun on me or something. I got nothing.
Nerve-wracking story of being pulled over by the cops, Stanz.
I think the best part is they do have really good like megaphones on their cars. And so I started to pull to the left of the highway, which I guess for you would be the right of the highway.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, stop that. Pull off the highway completely. And I was like, all right, shit, dude.
So what did you do? What happened?
I was going 75 and a 65.
Whoa. It's the rule breaker.
Dangerous.
I've always said it. You're a bad boy,
I'm a bad boy. Yep, I am the bad boy of this podcast. I was going 75 and a 65. Didn't that used to be like
a sub-alert that you had or something?
Yeah.
I'm a bad boy.
True. Yeah, because I am a bad boy. And my windows are too tinted. I don't know. Do you guys tint windows in the UK? Probably not because of all the clouds.
Yeah, we still do. And it's stupid.
Oh, really?
And it's also like you can over tint the same way you can in the US.
Yeah, and so I've over tinted because it's hot in Southern California / Arizona. And so I went a little bit over the legal amount. So I now have to get tint removed from 2 of my windows.
God, that's so funny.
Annoying.
That for you is annoying. Now, I was thinking more on like tinting. because in the UK, obviously we don't do it for heat. The literal only reason you do it is for like privacy to like, or to look cool, right? You've got like blacked out windows.
I mean, that is a part of it here too, but it does really help with the heat in hot areas.
Yeah, I just never even fucking considered that because obviously no one does that for that reason here. It's just funny.
Right.
No, Stanz, the other thing is an actual heat that you've got. Because you've mentioned this on stream, and the first time you mentioned it, I had so many questions, but I was like, I'm not going to ask any of them because I need to know on the podcast.
This is. I wouldn't call this heat. I would call this fear.
Yeah, well, that's the best thing to talk about on the fucking podcast. You are apparently sleepwalking, but it's insane.
I went. And so I will say yesterday or 2 days ago was my first day not sleepwalking, but I had 4 nights in a row of sleepwalking, and I've never sleptwalked in my life.
In fact, I would terrifying.
In a row. I would go so far as to say I have never gone to bed and woken up before, like not when I was intending to wake up. I'm not the kind of guy who wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to the bathroom. I'm not the kind of guy who wakes up in the middle of the night and like makes a cuppa. It's just like I go to bed and I wake up in the morning.
Right.
And I feel rested.
That's such a weird way to say it, but I can't think of a better way to say it. You confused me for a second, but
I'm a good sleeper. I used to say like I'm like a major league sleeper. I could fall asleep in sub 2 minutes.
So stupid.
I truly believe I am good at sleeping. I would fall asleep quickly and I would sleep the entire night no matter what. And that is what made this sleepwalking incident or set of incidents so scary to me.
Yeah, it couldn't be a more you way of sleepwalking though, because you were fucking doing Taskmaster tasks in your fucking sleep.
So it's hard to explain. For one, I think explaining a dream is the most boring thing someone can do.
No, this is not that. This is actually interesting and crazy.
Yeah, but it's similar. And so I just want to say that when someone's like, oh my God, I had the craziest dream, I want to shoot myself in the head.
Yeah.
Because like, I know I'm going to listen to
This is not that. This is weird. This is crazy.
But I will say that in a similar way, when you're dreaming and like you just have like knowledge of a thing, but there's no logic behind it.
Yes.
Where it's like, I have to go to school, but also it's my work and also like my uncle is there, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I woke up, there is a smoke detector on my ceiling because I like to live safely. And it's got a green light on it that says like the battery's fully charged here. And when I woke up, I knew in my heart of hearts, this was the most important thing in the world. If that green light was on, I needed to reach to my side, take a drink of water, put it down, stand up.
Sorry to interrupt, but to clarify, if that green light was on, which it would permanently always be on, right?
It's always on.
Like,
yeah, but in my mind,
like there's a chance that there isn't. But
in my mind, it's not a smoke detector. It is like the green light of the task, right? It is like I have to do it.
You've been activated like a fucking
truly.
agent.
I didn't know what it was, like a robot or something. Like this light is a trigger. I have to drink my water, stand up, and I have to spin. And I did this for a long time. I spun for long enough.
You were spinning for multiple times. I thought it was a one-time thing.
I could have been spinning for an hour for all I know, but eventually Rochelle woke up, right? And I was exhausted the next day, so maybe I was spinning for a long time. Rochelle wakes up and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I look at her with contempt and disgust. And I go, the green light's on.
Fucking dare
I have to do the task. Yeah, it was a how dare you moment. It was like, don't you see the green light? It's the task.
Yeah.
And so eventually I get back into bed. And I wake up the next morning remembering everything. This is not one of those, like, she tells me about it.
So yeah, I think that's the weirdest part for me. Because I don't think, I don't know anyone else in my life that sleepwalked, and I haven't really heard that many stories. But every time that I've heard of someone sleepwalking, it's always like they had no control, they had no memory in the morning, and they almost like you hear like in TV shows and stuff, like they live like an alternate life when they're asleep, and they could do things that their awake self would never do, and you don't remember. Right. It's crazy that you not only you remember, but you were like, you know exactly what you were thinking during the time, and you were like, you remember the conversation with Rochelle where you're like,
dude, that's not even the end of it. You want to know the crazy part is when you're sleepwalking, everything feels right and normal. Like I have to drink the water, I have to spin, and then I woke up and I was like, oh no, like. It was the task, right? But then the second you say that, you're like, no, I'm an idiot. That means nothing.
Oh, you still kind of believed it when you woke up.
Yeah, but then you realize you're saying something crazy. Night number 2, I sleptwalked, but all I did was stand up and realize, oh, this is how I explain it. No, it's so obvious. I was doing the task. I woke up and was like, no, I get it. This is how I will explain it.
They didn't realize it was part of the task.
Yeah, it's like, no, I get it now. And
You're
so
like
I stood up.
with, you've got fucking two personalities. This is scary
Completely.
now, Stanz. I'm worried for you.
And that's not the scary part, because, well, what's scary is that I have like a second personality in this dream world. But night 3, this is what really threw me off.
Sorry, that sentence is so insane.
Say what you will. Say what you will.
What's scary is I have another personality in this dream world.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a different.
And that's not.
person.
We're not having a conversation about a TV show. This isn't a film.
Yeah, this is my
your
real life.
real life. That's amazing,
dude.
Sorry,
night 3 is where I started to think I might need to call a doctor because I sit up in the middle of the night and I have this vivid knowledge that Rochelle asked me. So, have you heard of this thing called a floordrobe? It's like a concept.
I think, sorry, are you trying to say that the concept is you just leaving your clothes on the floor?
Yeah, so apparently people with ADHD, I'm trying to learn more about it because I have this compulsion. Apparently people with ADHD tend to like leave clothes around because you have clothes and you're like, it's not dirty, it's not clean, I don't know what to do with it. And you end up developing what they call a floordrobe. And I have what I call like a counterdrobe. I have one dresser and on top of it, I have like a bunch of stacks of like lightly folded, like half folded clothes.
I do that. Yeah.
A lot of people. It's actually one of the most common things, but they just call it a floordrobe because it's like clothes around that you think you're gonna wear, something like that. I woke up with this knowledge that Rochelle needed me to dig through my floordrobe, this like stack of clothes, and find razor blades.
Yeah, and you said
that
this one
shit
on
is
stream.
Scary.
That's terrifying because I would be then thinking like once you've
what if there was a razor blade?
Once you then wake up and you've realized how absurd everything is, like part of your subconscious must have thought that there was a fucking razor blade in your clothes.
Yeah.
So
and we don't even own razor blades. Like, who owns a razor blade? What are we, painter? Like I don't even know who uses an actual razor blade.
No.
Nowadays. Yeah.
Also, the scary part is then like your brain wasn't able to, like when you were sleepwalking, wasn't able to go, obviously there's no razor blades in my clothes, and if there were, that would be bad to be searching for them with my hands.
And why did I want it?
Well, obviously it was the task. That part makes sense. You need to do it to complete the task.
Well, no. The first one, the water and spin was like the green light gave me a task, straight up. Maybe I was abducted by aliens. The second one was Rochelle. Yeah, but the second one was so obviously Rochelle needed this sharp object.
Because I think maybe she developed from doing the tasks with you to like becoming the taskmaster, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was been weird. It freaked me out a lot.
Yeah, but you've not. So that was you. There was 3 days. What happened on the fourth day?
This was the fourth night was again kind of like the second night of the first one, where I just kind of like stood up and like had this realization, like thought about like the sleepwalking in itself. It's almost like a meta sleepwalk. Where I think about it,
you were thinking about sleepwalking while sleepwalking. That's
correct. Crazy. Yeah, the 2 nights. So there was like weird sleepwalking, thinking about weird sleepwalking, thinking about weird sleepwalking. Exactly.
Interesting. But then nothing night 5.
Nothing night 5, and then nothing night 6, which was last night.
Damn.
So I've been clear 2 nights.
So,
and I've been clear for 30 years. You know, I've never slept off.
This is I don't know. There's a 5 nights at Stanz's joke, but I don't know. There's something there.
Yeah, there's something there, but honestly, it's too scary to joke about.
Yeah, well, hey, so's Five Nights at Freddy's, and people joke about that all the time. Shit's scary, dude.
Yeah, it's very scary. You're so brave.
Thank you. That actually brings us on to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, because when you said you're so brave, I was going to say you wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where I was raised.
Oh my God. If that stupid-ass keyboard meme hadn't come around, I would hate this meme.
Oh, the keyboard meme's fucked. I don't even want to talk about that because it's not even worth the time of day.
That's how I would feel about this where I was raised thing if the keyboard thing didn't happen.
Okay, well, so do you know the origin of the meme?
No. No, not at all.
It's from a Taylor Swift lyric. That's why everyone's talking about it. Because
she's at the center of everything.
Is a Taylor Swift lyric from her latest album, because fucking Taylor Nation, you know. It's
hey,
Taylor,
did she really say that thing where she wants to live in 1830 but no racism? Is that real or is that fake?
Yeah, that's real. That's just a lyric. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, so she did say that. She also said, you wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me, is like the actual thing.
Did she really? That is so non-self-aware. Because I think she might have had the easiest life growing up.
Yeah, people were then. So the meme kind of started. We're going to learn about the origin of this meme, but there is a reason for it. Stanz. It's not just because it's Taylor Swift. It started with people like roasting her for that line specifically because she didn't have like she was pretty sheltered growing up and had like a decent life and whatever.
Rich dad. Like,
exactly. But then people started to do the meme, but like for insert generic place or like nostalgic thing that happened to me as a kid that other people can relate to.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like Minecraft. It's the Minecraft village or something.
Yeah, yeah. I sent you one that was funny that I was like, hey, you could do a tweet with this, and you did.
It was about David Dobrik and not David Dobrik, Shane Dawson.
Not David Dobrik.
His cat. Fucking, yeah. You know what I mean? And bye, sister. Sister, please. Bye.
Yeah, because I taught you all the things. So that's an example of one of them for that was actually, I thought, relatively funny. So I thought of a good one because, hello, we do Glee. I'll find a picture of the fucking Glee rehearsal room and tweet that out as a meme. So I did, as you can see here on the Binge and Cringe account. And first of all, what do you think? Out of 10, how'd you rate the meme?
How would I rate the meme? I would rate it... Can I be honest with you? I would rate it low.
Well, give me a number out of 10.
I would probably give this like a 4. This to me doesn't even look like Glee.
What? You're insane. What do you even mean it doesn't look like Glee? Big.
I almost want it to return the other orientation.
The room's too big, Stanz. This is the room. It's not like
I agree,
not
but
looking like it. It is
but most of
literally
the time they're not going to use
shot.
this like ultra wide shot. When we're watching the show, it's not going to be ultra wide. We're going to be seeing like a corner of it. We're going to be seeing this. I almost want to face the other direction.
I wanted it to face the other direction as well, and there is no good pictures of empty other direction. It's only with characters.
I hear
in the chairs.
You had to work with what you had. I'm just saying that, like, hey, game was sparse out there.
I'm saying, and I will have proof that backs me up that I was cooking. This cooked your cringe.
Okay.
So much so, Stanz, that in my recommended, like 2 hours later, I saw this.
Did someone jack your shit? You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me. Same exact photo with worse color grading.
Exact photo?
It's just a worse version of the photo, actually. And it has 9,000 likes, or almost 250,000 views.
So, I, like most people, finding out that someone has stolen their tweet, I went to my respective Discord and got really angry. So I complained to all the Binge and Cringe viewers, like, because I just sent the tweet in the Discord to be like, this'll bang on Glee Twitter, give her a like. And then, like, 2 hours later, I see this, so I'm like, but they stole my tweet, what the hell? Because theirs was posted, like, 2 hours after mine. And then I was like, realistically, obviously they didn't steal the tweet. It's, if I'm able to come up with that very basic concept, other people who like Glee would also be able to come up with this very basic concept. Then someone in the Discord pointed this out to basically just prove to me that I was an idiot and I was wrong, and there's no way they stole it from me, because if anything, I stole it. Have a look at this article. So if you scroll past the first
Taylor Swift
picture,
house,
the Taylor Swift house, the original tweet from this meme, the first tweet that started this meme, was
Glee.
A Glee one.
And it has a million views.
The same thing.
So you're a reposter.
So someone made the exact same meme with the exact same photo, and I found the tweet. So here you go for context.
Oh my god.
And they made it first, like days earlier, and not only did they make it first, they're the origin of the whole entire meme.
Non-Taylor Swift version of it,
Yeah, which is fucking crazy, Stanz, because it went from me being annoyed that someone stole my tweet to, surprise, surprise, Glee's in the fucking Zeitgeist all the time, and it's fucking crazy. This meme that you've seen everywhere starts from Glee, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Genuinely, I am baffled every week that I don't even try and find these things. Like, someone in the Discord was like, I think it started from Glee. And then everyone was like, it's in the Zeitgeist. I was like, I don't even need to say it anymore, dude. It's like, it's proofs in the fucking writing. It's right there. It's written on the wall. It's there.
It is right there. Wow, that is crazy how many views that has. And how many people like Glee compared to how many people watch this Glee watch-through podcast.
Wait, whoa, what are you saying?
I'm saying we should have millions of listeners, is what I'm saying, based on it being in the Zeitgeist.
Yeah, so true. There's definitely, it's not nothing to do with us. It's the internet's fault, I think.
I would agree with that.
But is this you admitting for the second time that Glee's in the Zeitgeist? I just want a confirmation.
Yes, Glee is unironically, solidly in the Zeitgeist.
Let's go. He's actually said it. The first time I talked over it, so this time I made sure I was nice and quiet. We've got a great soundbite, and you said 100% and everything. We're clipping the shit.
It is a fact.
We're done.
It is a fact.
Okay, before we get on to the episode of Glee today, Stanz, I have a little bit of a correction to make from last episode.
Correct the record.
Yeah, you were right, and I have to apologize.
Ooh.
What do you think I could be right about, though? I want to see what you can even remember from fucking last episode.
Last
episode of the podcast, not the episode.
Oh, not the episode of Glee? Oh, I'm right about everything in the podcast portion.
Well...
no, what is it? Remind me why I was right.
You started off the episode by going, home, I'm coming home, for some reason.
Oh, I was like, this has to be in Glee, because it was, like, huge at the time. Yes.
Yeah, you said it's going to be in Glee because it was huge. I said, no shot, because it came out the same year that Glee came out, and it's not in the first 4 seasons of Glee, so why would they include it in, like, season 5 or whatever? Right. It's in season 5. So
wow, it was just a cultural phenomenon. So like it had to be.
Yeah, but why? It wasn't a cultural phenomenon when they did it in Glee. That's what baffles me. I just don't get it. But either way,
maybe it's one of those songs that was released but didn't like get popular appeal until a couple years later. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. I think it was big when it came out. But either way,
I asked the people another question. It was like, hey, people, do you like this thing? Tell Cancey's wrong. Was it that, or was there something else?
It wasn't that. I also don't think you did. From what I remember.
I know I asked the people to say something. It might have been in the paid part.
You almost always ask the people to say something and
they never do it. They never answer me. Are they listening? Or, hey, buddy, you out there? You listening?
There's a couple of times we've asked people to say and do something that's really, really funny. Mainly
one person said Baba Booey and I never sent him $1.
Yeah, because we'll get, like, people will watch these episodes because we're doing the watch along thing. Like, the podcast is relatively like timeless, so people can just go back and watch episodes. So we'll get comments on episodes where we clearly told them to say a thing for a reason, and we have no idea why they're saying them, and I have to try and remember, is this person speaking in riddles, or did we tell them to say this
or did I ask him to say a weird thing?
Yeah. What was the most recent one? Someone commented 3 days ago, sheesh, that's a spicy meatball.
That's so funny.
Because at the end of episode 2, we were like, does anyone even listen to All This Way? Should they leave a comment if you do? What should they say? And you went, sheesh, that's a spicy meatball.
And they did. See, that they're listeners, they're fans.
Yeah. So from episode 2, we're still getting comments like that. So you should ask the people to say something if they've heard this now. To confuse.
Well, yeah, this is at the beginning. If you haven't heard this, then come on.
That's so I'm saying now we'll definitely get lots of comments about this, and it will confuse us even more in the future when people are listening to this.
Right. Okay, well then I'll just ask them to say something that wouldn't confuse me at all if I read it. Like, what would be something that I know about? Man, sheesh, that's a spicy meatball.
I hate you so much.
And then we'll know they're listening a second time.
Was that because you thought that was funny, or was that because you couldn't think of another single sentence?
Why can't it be both? Why can't it be both?
It can't be both because I hope that you didn't think it was funny.
Sheesh. That's a spicy meatball.
Great, yeah. Leave a comment, guys. Okay, Stanz, do you know what episode of Glee we're on?
We are on episode number 19.
No, that's what we watched last episode.
We are on episode number 20. It's closer than I thought I would be.
Yeah, we're episode 20, and there's only 22 episodes in season 1. I say only, there's still a lot of episodes, but what I'm saying is, like, we've got 3 episodes left to watch.
Oh, wow, we're almost at the end.
Yeah, and then we're at the end of season 1, which is great for so many different reasons. Mainly because, as far as I remember, including last episode, the rest of the season is bangers. So last episode was great. This episode, it's been a long time since I've watched it. This episode should be really good from what I've seen. And then we've got like the last 2 episodes of the season that are definitely going to be bangers. So I am very, very excited for the future. This episode is a big one because like the Madonna episode, it is all featured around a specific artist.
Oh, and that artist is U2.
I hope not. I know who
that
it
artist
is
Journey.
Bearing in mind it's 2009 when this comes out, who do you think the artist would be? Like
Katy
actual
Perry.
guesses. Katy Perry. Good guess. Is that your locked in?
Well, now I think it's not because of the way you said that, but yeah, I'll lock it in.
Sure. I mean, you could change it. You don't have to lock it in.
2009?
Yeah.
I mean, Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga's another good one. Is that locked
sure,
in?
But obviously not the answer. It's not the answer.
I'm just trying to see which one you think you're going to lock in, dude.
I'm going to lock in Katy Perry.
Okay. Final answer?
Final answer.
You sure you don't want to change it? Or?
I'm sure I don't want to change it.
Okay. And finally, Stanz, before we get into the episode, it's been a while, and to be honest,
are you not going to tell me who it is? I have to reveal in the episode?
Yeah, we'll find out. No spoilers. We'll find out in the episode, dude.
Okay. Fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've watched Glee, and I just can't really remember what's happened, if anything's happened in the episode, like from, I don't know, from episode 1 to like now, especially if there's like any relevant plot lines that I might need to keep track of. If only there was a way
I can do this.
to find that out in maybe 30 seconds or less.
Sorry, I'm going through my mind filing cabinet, just pulling out the right things I need. Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready, Stanz?
I'm ready.
And here's what you missed on Glee.
Glee is a show about a glee club. It's taught by a Spanish teacher who is very, very cringe. The main characters are Finn and Quinn. The crazy thing about Quinn is she is pregnant, but it's not with Finn. She is pregnant by Puck, and she is having the baby. There's other characters like Kurt and Artie and Rachel Berry.
What are you laughing at?
There's other characters, and then I name those other characters. Artie's in a wheelchair, but if the actor can walk is a thing that we learned about.
The actor can
walk.
The actor
can walk.
3, 2,
Jane Lynch
1.
is the cheerleading coach.
Yes, dude, that was actually amazing. Well done. My favorite part was you listing the characters.
I kind of know. Well, yeah, because that's a thing that people don't think I can do. I was truly showing skill.
I mean, you didn't meet the assignment, but you did an interesting
30
thing.
seconds, I gave you as much as I could from episode 1 to now. If you had that information, you would have what you need.
You mentioned, all you talked about was the pregnancy
Shu is
plotline,
cringe.
Right?
Quinn and Shu is cringe.
Yeah.
Quinn is pregnant. She was dating Finn, but it's not his baby. Jane Lynch is the cheerleading coach, and they're a glee club. What else do you need to know?
Well, we'll find out if we need to know anything else in this episode of Glee, because what I always forget to do is compare your actual Here's What You Missed to the episodes Here What You Missed.
Well, mine is basically photographic memory, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. Surely. I mean, to be honest, if they don't have a single plotline about Quinn's pregnancy, I'll be surprised because it's been fucking weeks. Is she even in the show? What's happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Finn was also not in the show last episode. They kind of have gone away from what many people think is like the main storyline.
Right. So I hope we get both.
Yep.
But if you want to find out along with us, then you can join our Patreon with the new extension that works. I was scared last week, and everyone should have downloaded it.
Did it actually work? Were people able to watch the episode?
Yeah. We've got a brand new extension, so if you haven't already, you need to get rid of the old one and re-download this new one. But it works in exactly the same way. Setup's the same. And it syncs up perfectly with the episode for just $5 a month. And there's some other cool stuff that's going to be up there. Also, I'm giving you guys 2 free live commentaries of The Pacifier and The Game Plan.
The Pacifier with Vin Diesel?
Yes, and the game plan with The Rock when he still had
with
hair.
Vin Diesel? Oh, shit. Okay, got
it. It's actually fucking crazy, his hair in this. So much so that I Googled how long after that did he shave his hair. He kept his hair for like 2 years after this film, and his hairline is bad, bro. It's crazy. But yeah, both of those movies, insane. Did you know The Pacifier has a Nazi plotline in it? I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it, but I have now, and it's great. Those will be up for free, probably by the time that this is up, because I'm hoping to get those up either today or tomorrow in my life. So it should be already up for you guys. And there's a bunch of other not free things. There's a bunch of other paid things on the Patreon that you can go and check out, but you can just sign up for free if you want to. And if you're still on the fence and haven't joined us, here's a little clip of this episode that we're about to watch.
Boom. Oh my god, I hate Shu.
What was that? Like he's conducting?
Yeah, he was conducting.
Never conducted in his life. Call him Copper because he's conducting.
So stupid. Call him Copper because he pulled me over today.
That's great.
And we're back.
I think you were going to say something else.
Sorry, that was the based alert from fucking Big Bert.
Yeah, dude, what a fucking crazy episode. If there's one that you should watch before we then talk about, I would say this is maybe the one, because
yeah, it would be tough to discuss it without having seen it, the good and the bad.
There is probably a 30 minutes worth of discussion that we can have from one scene of this episode. So I guess we should probably talk about that first, because that could be the whole entire of the end part of this episode. We'll see.
Right.
Do you want to describe to the viewers what happened?
Yeah, so we've seen this storyline of Finn's mom and Kurt's dad falling in love. And that has led to a culmination of Finn Finn's mom telling Finn that we are moving in with Bert and Kurt. Sorry, their name are Bert and Kurt. And Finn and Quinn.
We've already had this conversation.
I fucking hate this show. It's my least favorite part about the show. That and shit.
They had that reveal in like the first part of this episode. The last time we left off was Finn and Quinn. Finn and Kurt coming to terms with the fact that their parents were dating, despite like for the first time since both their respective other parents had passed away. And the way that the show dealt with it was so like sincere and meaningful, and you feel like, I mean, minus the end shot where Kurt was in the window where it was raining or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, watching his dad have a father-son relationship with another kid. Yeah,
that was comical, but everything else around it was like decently well done. And I remember us talking after that episode about how some of the conversations, like the show's writing, whenever it seems to be revolving around Kurt's storylines, seems to just go up a notch. And after praising it so much, this episode with no lead in whatsoever, the parents just become like comical fucking caricatures of themselves, and they're like, "We're moving in. You're living with Kurt. You're sleeping in the same room. Yeah, I hope that's okay. Surely there's going to be no problems with that." Which obviously, I think anyone would have any problems with like moving, full stop. Let alone knowing that you're now going to be sharing a room with anyone. And again, that anyone being someone that you're in, like that you talk to a lot, that you're in the Glee Club, could even be worse.
Later revealed someone who is in love with you. That we now know that Finn knew this entire time.
That's the biggest part, because there's a lot of an underlying. I mean, it's not very underlying. It has kind of been underlying up until this point of like the fact that Kurt fancies Finn, but that Finn is kind of like rejecting it, but maybe in like not necessarily a homophobic way, but in a like he couldn't really tell if Kurt liked him or if he was just gay. That like you couldn't really get the vibe of what Finn was thinking, and then they just turn that up to 100 this episode, and they don't leave anything to the imagination. You find out what everyone feels. What was the catalyst for that? I've forgotten.
The catalyst for that conversation was the redecoration of the room. So, like, Finn is obviously having these big feelings. They had the wine about it
set.
Yeah, they had the wine about it set as the room. Finn is having these big feelings and doesn't love that they moved in, and he doesn't have any agency anymore, and he like is uncomfortable around what was once his friend Kurt, who he now knows is in love with him. Sees this new room.
He now thinks that he's in love with him, but based on all of the clues that has been very obvious that that Kurt's in love with Finn. It's not,
and is also trying to navigate going from the football team to the Glee Club when the football team is specifically picking on Kurt and other members of the Glee Club. So Kurt asks him, like, "Hey,
at the same time as all this, in the episode.
Can you get him to lay off?" And he goes, like, "No, I can't. Like, why don't you understand like how this could be hard on me?" And then everything explodes with slurs.
Everything does explode. So I kind of what's interesting about this episode is I don't think it's like as cut and dry as some of the plot lines that they have previously done.
Okay,
and
interesting.
I think that they did it in a way that gave them they were like too scared to go with it like all the way. Right?
You think so? I thought they went crazy in a good way.
Okay, they went crazy in 2024, right?
Yeah.
But I think at the time...
Which means for 2009, they went bonkers psycho nuclear.
No, that's the opposite, Stanz. What?
No, I sorry. When I say crazy, I mean crazy good. Like they were unbelievably progressive about
it. Sorry. Yeah, I was meaning crazy as in just them saying slurs is crazy.
Yeah, I'm talking about the response to that. Like, is that coming in and defending?
When I say crazy, you think that I'm saying good. I feel like that's a user error.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they went crazy on this one. If you say like someone's on a song, it's like they went crazy on this song.
They were saying they dropped. They nearly dropped all three of the big ones, Stanz. All three big slurs. We talked about that last
I know
episode.
This joke has been made a million times, but the fact that like the N-word is the one they can't say is always so funny in the middle of it. They were very willing to say other slurs, but not that one.
That's what always gets me is that no one is like, they'll say the other words knowing that they're bad, but in your head, it's like, well, I'm referencing the fact that it's bad. That's why I'm able to say it. But then you would never say the N-word. So
correct.
It's
which is a way things have changed.
Yeah, it's just interesting. But anyway, no, what I was going to say is that it would be a lot more cut and dry if they went full balls to the walls and had Kurt, no, sorry, not Kurt, had Finn get like actually angry at Kurt and call him the F slur, right? Like if he actually called him it. And
sorry, you're saying that he wasn't enough of a bigot for you.
I'm saying that they gave it so by the end of the episode, you had like plausible deniability. He was like, he didn't really say it at Kurt, right? So when he
because that would his character would become irredeemable, even by like the standards of that time.
I'm saying if they really wanted to tackle what was happening a lot of the time, like because like I'm saying in 2009, this was fucking based and fucking sick. The fact that they're even saying like,
I think even if you had that today, it would still be like progressive. Maybe that's a sign that we haven't gone as far.
Yeah,
like I feel like that wouldn't have been that out of place.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. So we're getting slightly ahead of ourselves. So they're having the argument. Finn is going around his room saying, I would get rid of this. I would get rid of this. But he's not just saying this. He's describing them with the F slur. Which is why, like, obviously saying that is the bad thing that Bert gets upset at. No, it is Bert, right? Sorry, the name's
Bert is his name, correct.
Yeah, Bert is the dad. And Bert then overhears...
Bert stands for Big Kurt, by the way, just so you know. That's how you can remember it.
Big Kurt.
That's my mnemonic device.
Actually, true, yeah. He overhears the conversation, clearly the argument they're having downstairs, comes down, his... the names. Hears Finn say the F slur and then fucking goes to town on him.
He does.
Which is so sick, but also it's just so well done that like Kurt is in the middle of it and is almost like the viewer's perspective. Like the fact that they had three people in the argument for like all the different sides and all the different perspectives that you can be thinking of during it. It's rather than it just being like fuck this person for saying the thing, it made it more interesting. But I also do think that they could have done more with it if they hadn't like, I don't know. It's hard to make the main character irredeemable, right? So it could have been a more interesting way to deal with it. I think if he,
I mean, can I just say it was perfect? Am I crazy? I feel like it was just perfect because like the main character did something that he knew was bad, now has to feel bad about it, but pay the consequences. To me, I'm like, I really enjoyed how that played out.
Yeah, I just don't think he did enough to redeem it at the end.
Sure.
So in my mind, like, I guess like every character in Glee, they've done a bad thing, and I'm like, I'm annoyed at them for doing the bad thing.
Sure.
They're not redeemed, but it's crazy that the person that says the F slur, in my mind, is more redeemed than Will Schuester. Right?
Will Schuester cringe as hell, bro. I don't know what it says about me, but
he
Will
hasn't said a single slur, but damn, is he more cringe than Finn, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because in every episode, they try and make out all the characters to be redeemed at the end, and like 90% of the time, I don't feel like they're redeemed. And I don't really feel that with Finn. I think he's got a lot of work to do in my mind if I was Kurt, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's not just like, oh, now he's saved me from being beaten up. Oh, yeah, sorry. So that's what happens at the end. To redeem the fact that he's said that, he then sticks up for Kurt in a dressed like Lady Gaga. Which is cool and based. It would be cool and based if he hadn't have previously said the F slur. That's the issue for me. Is like, I don't think the good deed makes everything okay. Like, he's not like, I got up and dressed as Lady Gaga in a dress once, so now I've got the F slur pass, right? Like, that's not how that works, I don't think. So
you are right that is not how that works.
More so than that, rather than it just being like angry pitchforks, like, he shouldn't say that word, I'm annoyed. And like, as a personal level for Kurt and Finn, he's got a hell of a lot that he needs to do to apologize for that he's done throughout the episode that isn't even saying the word, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess this is the part that is interesting in a way, that is the reason that I do like the scene, because there's just so many moving parts going on. The fact that Kurt actually is interested in Finn, and he can tell that, he is kind of right in a way to be annoyed and upset. I just don't think he's right in a way to be annoyed and upset at Kurt, because none of this is Kurt's fault for putting them in that situation, right?
Yeah, well, to be clear, it kind of is. Kurt set up their parents.
Yeah, but then we all came to terms with that, and if anything, Kurt was the most annoyed one about them getting together.
Sure, but it can still be frustrating that none of this would happen if Kurt didn't do that thing. And Kurt did set up their parents so that he could spend more time with Finn.
Yes.
Obviously, like, the way it manifested was not acceptable, but if I'm Finn and like I'm having to move into a new house, and my friend, who I like as a friend but don't want as a romantic partner, is like obviously in love with me, it's like, God, this is also frustrating.
Yeah.
Shouldn't manifest in saying slurs.
I don't think anything I just keep on finding myself flip-flopping between Finn is cringe and it hasn't been redeemed by the end of the episode, but also I kind of understand his reasoning and like how he got there. Like, it's such a nicely woven storyline, because
it is. It's just really good. It's good TV. Yeah, it's good storytelling in general.
Because Kurt doesn't do anything this episode that would would make Finn think that Kurt likes him, right? Unless I missed something, there wasn't. He redecorated their room, but he made it look fucking camp as hell. Not really camp as hell. He made it look exactly like the one about his studio for some reason.
Yeah, which is gay as hell.
What even, like, I can't think of what that would look like. Like, what kind of chic is that? You know, what
it's style? Like what do you call it? Astrology chic, in my opinion.
Okay,
that's like what it looks like.
I kind of see that. I see that vibe. None of his actions this episode are like, I'm trying to get with Finn, right? It's like he's happy about them living together, but it doesn't seem like he's happy about them living together because he wants to fuck him. It seems like he's just happy in general, and maybe has got past the fact that he has a crush on Finn, and he's like willing to deal with the fact that they're living together.
I think we are forced to take context from other episodes into this one.
Yes.
As a standalone, and especially from a couple people who haven't like watched, we took like a little bit of a break there. I think it would be easy to forget some of the things that happened.
And there's also a big break in between this episode and the previous episode they were doing it on. They do huge breaks in between the plot lines. It's just that's a Glee staple.
Right, but for them it was like 3 weeks, and for us it was like 2 months.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that from everyone's perspective in that moment, I feel like, again, everyone's kind of valid, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
If you take out the F slur, that's the only bit that fucks it, because he just went a little bit too far. But his like argument is like, bro, if someone changed my room, completely redecorated it, spent the $300 that, mind you, I was given. It was given to me, and then I'm Finn in this situation. I was given $300 to redecorate my room, and then the person that I'm living with takes that $300, makes it look like some astrology fucking chic thing. Apparently, I don't know. It's Stanz's opinion on what the chic is. I don't really know.
That's just what I say. Yeah.
And then I come down, and then the person's like, I don't understand why you're so annoyed. And then you have to be like, it's all of the things in the room that you've changed that look stupid as hell, dude. That's the reason why I'm so annoyed. Can you not tell? Right. It's insane. So I get the anger, and I get the reasoning behind Finn's outburst. It is literally the line, the word that changes the context around completely from me being like, I'm on Finn's side, to then instantly fucking Bert plods in like, no, I'm the Giga Chad based one around here. Thank you very much.
And even goes so far as to say, like, if this ends my relationship with your mother, so be it. You know, my son comes first, which is like really powerful.
Dude,
stuff.
yeah. I think once he gets past saying all of the slurs he's okay saying, once he gets past that bit of the conversation, it's like fucking line after line after line of emotionally like hard-hitting, well-written words. It's like really, really good. And again, if it wasn't for the slurs, I would be tearing up at that, I think. Like, if you extrapolated all of the parts where they're saying stuff that makes me cringe, the sentiment behind everything is like so fucking emotional.
And it's just correct. It was like they didn't have to, it didn't feel like they went too far or they were like pandering to a certain audience. It was like, no, this is just, they were very clear with this is the way it should be. And this is the way it used to be, in talking about like how he used to talk and stuff like that. But he has learned and grown.
I really like Bert's conversation with Finn there about, I thought you were different. And specifically, like, he was like, you've grown up in a different generation where I've had to struggle my whole entire life to come to terms with this being the new normal. And he thought that that was the normal for Finn, and that he was a different kind of person that could like he was the Messiah. He was Elisa Al Gaib. He could be the bridge between the two worlds, the jock and the gay. But then his world was shattered by that. And he realizes that the one person that he was like kind of okay with his son getting to know and being close with, that wasn't just like a girl or someone that was just really into musicals or whatever, like a jockey kind of guy person. He was okay with him being friends with him and not worried about him being bullied. And then he catches him in his own house saying the F slur
about his son,
literally to his son. And then Kurt as well. Like I get Kurt defending Finn in that moment when he was like, no, he wasn't saying it to me.
And knowing that like a lot of times people in these marginalized communities will have to sacrifice like their emotional well-being to protect people around them or to make other people around them comfortable. Him like immediately like going to do that, I think is very representative of like a real thing. And then the dad doing his part to be like, no, you know what I mean? Like you are not allowed to sacrifice.
It's almost like a defense mechanism of Kurt.
Yeah, it is a defense mechanism.
Yeah, he's had people all his life say those kind of things to him. So his first instinct is to be like, no, that's okay. Don't worry. I know what they were really meaning. And Bert has to be like, no, I know. He was like, I was one of them. I knew exactly what I meant when I said it before. So now I don't say that. I know exactly what you're thinking when you say that in my house to my son.
And I think that the episodes of Building where Finn is like Bert, they are the same. They like sports. They are this. So then when Bert says like, I used to be a bigot, it's like, all of those things that are the same means like bad things are the same too. It's like interesting based on past episodes.
You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join it. Is that the line?
Very, very cool. Yeah, that is exactly the line. That's 2 weeks in a row we've done a Star Wars reference, so I have to go shove my head in the fucking
Wait, is it? What was the Star Wars reference last week?
I'm sure. I remember vividly saying something about Star Wars and being like, this is cringe. Someone, hey, if you're in the comments, let me know.
That's a spicy meatball.
That's a spicy meatball.
But the final part of that scene for me, it is the final part of that scene, but for me is the like hardest hitting bit. When both Kurt and Bert, it's crazy they're called that. When they're both tearing up. And Bert's like walking away, like he's like fucking red with anger, and he's like walking up to go up the stairs. Realizes that Kurt's crying and just reaches his arm back to put it on his shoulder, and then Kurt
and then leaves
reaches.
It there. It's like the big thing, because it's easy to be like, "Oh, Jock Dad, put her there, son." Taps his shoulder, but he leaves it there. And
it's not like a fucking man up, son kind of vibe. It's like a no, I'm supporting you.
Yeah, we are in this together.
Yeah, and then Kurt raises his hand up to be like, thank you, essentially. Like, the fact that you can get that context of their fucking touching hands, and you get all of that context from their scene because of how well the characters' motives were written throughout the whole entire build-up to it. Like, I think if they showed that scene out of context, you'd just be like, oh, he just comforted him, or whatever. But you get like a different perspective from the writing. So that brings me on to something that I kind of messed up last episode. This is 2 mess ups I did last episode. The home one and then
You're
this.
Fucking up, dude.
They didn't only win 2 Emmys, Stanz. They won 4 Emmys, I think. I think it was really 6, but 2 of them were like fake Emmys.
Sure.
But they also, Ryan Murphy won for director of a comedy series, I think, or something like that.
Sorry, Ryan Murphy is the director of Glee?
The creator, director, showrunner, all of the above, I think.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at him now.
And the whole of Glee is like Ryan Murphy's baby, essentially. And the show won an Emmy. And I feel like, as well as for all of the comedic parts and like the stuff in the pilot and the things that did really, really well, it's Kurt's plot lines that are driving that home, and the reason, like, these are all the Emmy-worthy scenes, right? Are all fucking Kurt's scenes.
Of course.
Yeah. And Bert's. Kurt and Bert, to be clear. The fucking dynamic duo.
Yes, sir.
And the other Emmy that I forgot, I'm pretty sure Kurt won an Emmy for acting in a comedy drama or something like that.
That makes sense to me.
So yeah, it's literally like this episode specifically, like, highlighted all of the reasons why I think Glee not only is good, but the reason why everyone else agreed, and it won Emmys. So, which is sick.
Yeah, won some awards.
We've had
they give out 300 of those a year. What did we find out last week?
Like 150, I think you said something like that. Yeah, from the PDF. But yeah, the last 2 episodes now, Stanz, we've had like fucking Emmy-worthy performance. Sorry, not worthy, winning. Emmy-winning performance to Emmy-winning performance. And now we have the last 2 episodes of Glee of season 1. Not ever. Don't get happy, Stanz. Don't get excited.
I was excited for a second there. I actually like the show.
No, I know. It's just a funny meme that you're like forced or like tortured to do this.
Yeah. I don't want to watch Twilight 2. I'll tell you that much.
You are watching it. You're not putting it off on just me and Rochelle. We're all
trying to pawn it off. This is not a bit. This is not a joke. I'm trying my hardest to pawn it off.
I think the reason that people want to see it and the reason it's funny is because you're forced to watch it. Right? If it's just me and Rochelle watching it, I don't really feel like there's a point, because we're both supposed to be like, it's good.
I'm down to watch it. I don't want to talk about it afterwards. I think that's where I get lost. And even like, as much as I like Glee and as much as like the themes are interesting to me, talking about it afterwards, I sometimes feel like I'm just doing it twice because I've had those thoughts in my head, and that's where I start to get a little sleepy.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing it twice. We've not had this conversation. What do you mean? I'm telling you,
it's like, because in my head I was like, oh yeah, these are the things I liked about that. Now I have to like say it. I don't want to say it. I've already done it. It's like, it's already happened. The synapses have connected. Like, the second time there's no dopamine.
Say the thoughts that are in my brain. Oh, boo-hoo.
I don't want to. I don't want to say the thoughts.
Sorry that you have to verbalize your thoughts.
Yeah, you should be. You should be sorry.
But I do. I understand what you're saying. It can be especially. I'm not. I think you're coming from it. It sounds like you're coming from it from like a lazy place, so you just can't be asked.
Right.
But for me, I understand it on like there's so many thoughts that I'm having in the moment in the episode that then afterwards I'm like, oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I wasn't as like eloquent with what I would like to have said about the episode because in the moment I know much more than I do like half an hour afterwards or whatever.
Fair. That's why I pause so much when I'm streaming.
Yeah, to get out your
get the thought out.
fucking
Get the thought out.
Word vomit, your thoughts.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, I'm not going to say anything 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later.
Well, I was right that our conversation about that one scene would fill up all of the time.
I can do a speed run of the last part of it. You ready?
Well, yeah. I was going to say we should touch on the other things. We've got about 5 minutes.
There's really only one thing we have to touch on, and that is the fact that Rachel met her mom, who is the wickedly talented.
Oh, the wickedly bitch of the West, dude.
So true. The plan worked, which was to like give her this tape, and so that she would recognize her voice later. She recognized her voice. She went to her, and then the mom, it was a blind date.
I know we're going over it quickly, but we have to. The fucking. The plan shouldn't have worked that well, right?
It was
what are the odds
plan.
of her going into the vocal adrenaline thing and being like, now the
crazy thing is the teacher does funny girl at the end of every rehearsal just in case.
Yeah, right? That's crazy. Yeah. And it just happens to be the song that fucking Rachel loves by her idol Barbra Streisand, and then she's like, oh, I recognize the voice. Would you recognize the voice? I don't think I would.
Of course I would.
If I heard someone sing and then I didn't have a face for them and I hear them sing again, I'm like, that could be anyone. I don't really know. Crazy.
Oh, I would know. I would recognize that voice anywhere. And so she did recognize it, confronted her mom, said, hey, I'm your daughter. And then the mom basically gave her like, this just doesn't quite feel good. I'm going to pass on this one, which is crazy.
I thought your speaking voice would be maybe a little bit less annoying and less cringe. Actually, Rachel, you're kind of cringe. I'm not talking to you
it was
anymore.
Weird. It was very weird. She hit her with that. And then Rachel's like, can we at least sing a song? And then they sang Poker Face for some reason. And while it was a good performance, it was weird.
Yeah, I completely agree. That slotted in there in that moment when she's about to be like, I'm leaving, is literally, I think the only reason they did it is so they can have a fun performance between the two best singers in the show.
True.
And make the most of Idina Menzel being there. But it's fucking insane, and I didn't remember Rachel's mum being as much of a bitch as she is. That's crazy. The fact that you would go through not only the amount of hoops that she went through for just like the tape part, but the fact that Jesse St. James was only in the Glee Club specifically to then get into Rachel's pants to then sneak the tape to her. She went through months of preparation just to be like, nah, in like after 5 minutes of a conversation. It's crazy.
You can just tell when the vibe's wrong, you know?
Yeah. What was the last time that you spent months preparing something that you then after 5 minutes are like, you know what? I'm an idiot.
Dude, I feel like I do that on stream all the time. I'll be like, this is going to be so sick. And then 2 minutes into it, I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
What was that? The cursed TikToks one? Probably the most recent one?
No, that one was kind of fun. That one just didn't work out, not by nature of us, but by nature of the algorithm being bad.
Oh, but, it wasn't anything to do with any of what we did at all. And I say we,
I agree.
I don't mean me.
I hate firm handshakes. You don't have to be sarcastic about it.
I'm being sarcastic because you watched a woman bend down 3 times on repeat. And
anyone who saw that would watch it more than once. Anyone on the
3
planet.
minutes of an Ohio gooning TikTok, and then watched multiple of them multiple times and kept on going, why do I keep on getting more of these?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're off the rails here. This has been a Glee podcast. It's called Binge and Cringe. The season's almost over. There's only 2 more episodes. That means there's only 2 more episodes of season 1 for us, unless we throw like a movie in the middle of there somewhere. Then there's like 3 episodes. But we're getting
if
near
we do
the
like
end.
a new moon or something like that.
Yeah, then it would be like maybe 2. There's 2 more episodes of Glee at least in season 1, and then we gotta up our game season 2.
Stanz, we also need to watch people get naked, and then we judge their penises.
What is that show called? Someone asked me the other day. And I couldn't remember.
Naked Attraction.
Naked Attraction. So unbelievably true.
Yeah, we need to do that because we hit a Patreon goal a long time ago for both New Moon and then to watch that. Now I've talked, I think a couple of episodes ago I talked about it, that because I was supposed to be going to America, we were going to do that stuff in person and it was going to be sick.
True, got canceled.
I'm not going to America, so we're not doing that stuff in person, which means there's no reason to not do it whenever. So we should do that soon.
Ooh.
We were holding off for a reason. We weren't just like, oh, these guys don't need it. But now we've no reason to hold off, so we're gonna do that as soon as possible for you guys because
we'll give the pigs their slop.
We love and respect the pigs, and you need your slop. Well, unless ACAB, you know, not those pigs.
So true. Yeah, not the one that pulled me over today. Am I right?
So true. What was the joke that we in the middle of the episode? I think I'm going to use that as the interstitial because it was so fucking funny.
It was funny. It was something.
Oh,
I was on one.
Will Schuster was conducting, so I called him a copper wire, and you said, "Fuck all the coppers that pulled me over this episode."
Okay, what I said was way funnier than that.
Yeah, it was sick. All right, give us a catchphrase and we're out of here, Stanz.
One man has one chance to do the impossible. See you later, folks.
Sorry, that's for a film, right? That's not. You can't do.
Sorry, why can't it be for a film?
Taglines for a film. That's not a catch. That's not like.
It's a tagline. It's a tagline. You said it. You said it yourself.
Yeah, it's a tagline. That's not the same as like fucking Gillette. The best man can get.
Here's the deal. Sorry, you're capitalist build. I think that we can use art too sometimes. How about that?
But that's not the thing. It's boring. If you've ruined it. You've
comment
stepped on my grave.
If you think I'm based and cool, and comment if you think that we should only shill for brands. Yuck, that aren't even paying us.
Sheesh, that's a spicy meatball.
See you guys next time.
Bye.